truthfully, for me it's been longer than necessary. I wanted to show a special mission where you kind of fight a dumpster truck. It's awesome. Remember that mission since I played this game when it was first released in the late 90s. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to get there in a comfortable time frame, so this is gonna be it. So firstly, to get this running, I recommend the modern version from Good Old Game or some place like that, because the original I tried to run it for maybe 1 or 2 years ago and was not able to on Windows 7. And now this is Windows 10 64-bit, and the Good Old Game version runs nice with glide emulation, true and glide. So let's just jump into a small problem firstly. This one. Joystick did not work with my trusty Steam controller. And the second problem I had was, well, the Steam controller works, but it doesn't work in joystick mode. I'm using keyboard bindings. Maybe a traditional joystick will work, I don't know. And the other problem is, for accelerate and brake, the default settings are, I believe, 8 and 2, or maybe 8 or 5 on the numpad. And I prefer using the arrow keys for accelerate and brake. And for some reason, in Carmageddon 2, I am not able to bind those keys to accelerate and brake. And there are actually a few keys, just random keys, that just was not unable to bind. No idea why. So yeah, that's my first problem, or con for these games. So the other one is there is a lot of settings here, and for an arcade kind of game, I think there is a bit of too much. These all were fine, repairing and everything, but then you have buy armor, buy power, buy offense, and this seems like, why would you need to have key bindings for this and to be able to just buy it within the game when you are racing? Shouldn't this be more of a thing in between the races and the laps and stuff like that? I don't see why you need to have really that one. And the big problem I have with, if I'm not gonna use it or someplace, I could just not map it. But there's my second problem, is you need to have all the keys mapped. All these must be mapped, otherwise you will not be able to proceed. It will say that you have not bind this, you must bind it. And there's a lot of this that just seems to be a bit of unnecessary. Like flap doors is a cool feature, but to be quite honest, you're most likely not going to use it a lot. And the horn in a game like this, why would you honk? You don't want people to get out of your way, you want to run them over, so quite useless. And then we have all these for the inventory. Why would you need inventory left and right? If you only have a few inventories, would have been better just, have one. But as I said, I need to bind both, so that's, what the hell? Yeah, so that's my first problem. The mapping of stuff. Not every key is working, you need to have all the one maps, and some keys that I find is not really necessary. Other than that, it's not much to say, it's an old game, so it doesn't have a lot of things to change. Gore level might be fun for people to, turn off that does not like it. See, can load the game, and that's my other problem. There are only autosave. I don't think I could have found any way that you could manually save a game. It seems a bit weird. And there are no save slots, so you can, you know, there's only gonna be your progress, nothing more. So let's see if we to race here. And they are basically racing or running over your opponents. That is the mission, and most likely you are not going to be racing a hell of a lot, because you get time when running people over. And do this wheel spinning if you like, brake and handbrake, and repair your stuff. Doors, honk and stuff, really. But the main thing obviously is for you going to be to try to wreck others' cars. And that means running them over, pushing them around. Where your closest opponent are. You can see that the one that are destroyers have a kind of widely shaped triangle instead. This one opponent should be down here. See, I get a lot of time now. As I said, it's a shame that there isn't more focus on the racing element, actually. It would have been fun if... The audio quality are okay, some nice soundtrack. And the car sounds is not really that awesome. And these cameras are interesting. And most of the obstacles are indestructible. Now I have this kind of turbo stuff, and means pretty much undrivable. And don't go in the water, that's terrible water physics. But as you see, using the kind of oil spill, you will also spin. So that's a terrible one to get. And so the graphical are, you know, nothing special to say, you know, it kind of works. And the best thing about this game is that it is very few games that are this type. So it's kind of great that it is just so special. That makes it a bit of, gives it a lot of an edge. But, you know, the biggest thing about this is actually the driving aspect. And the driving is terrible. I'm going to show that off in a minute. And I collect some time, so I'll it. So nothing to worry. Okay, so the biggest thing is the driving. That really makes me feel like, yeah, this is bad and not going to be a game that I can play a lot. And it's so bad, the driving, that especially there was one mission, you had 3 missions start off, that was like this, and this was fun, it was easy, basically there was no problem. And then there was a worse thing happening, and that was that there came a mission where you should destroy satellites on top of a roof, meaning you needed to drive and jump through different roofs. Sounds fun, right? But considering the driving difficulties, because as you can see, just trying to get past these corners are almost impossible. The car does not really turn, and once you do like one left and one right, you start spinning. See, one right, you lose so easy control over the car, and it's so difficult to just make simple turns. Like, you know, see, ooh, and we are out of control, and you are so out of luck trying to recover. And see if you can find some more turns, and that there is, you know, a handbrake that can help you do quicker turns, like here, if you wanted to, you know, do this, but then you lose all your speed. You can't really power slide or anything, which is really sad. Would have been, you know, much more fun. Just trying to, you lose all your speed as soon as you hit the brake. Really bad. And trying, you know, just trying to go past these cannons. You see, I get to slow down to a crawl, because the car does not really turn. And once you lose control, that will happen a lot of the times, you basically are going to spin out of control or crash. So that is the main problem with this game. It is that the driving are pain. And just cannot even get through this simple turn without coming to like a stop, and that is really taking a lot of bad on the experience. Here we can see another, and you know, power-ups found along the stages. It's a fun thing to go drive around and fun. that can make, you know, the car go better or so, but I have a few of them and I don't really feel there's a lot of a difference. And this is another thing, to make jumps are incredibly hard. So here I'm like not barely driving and I'm flying way over. It's really difficult to get a sense of speed. What kind of speed you need for making certain jump stuff. But this game has a lot of fun if you can get past the kind of obstacles of driving, that it is such a terrible driving experience in this game. And it's also got, you know, some interesting elements to it that is not known in other games. No. But you should not take it as a pure racing game, because it's quite impossible to just race and win, so you should more take it off a destruction derby kind of game and focus on that. I was just thinking about trying to complete this stage. Because as you see, this is 6 lap I need to complete, or I need to destroy all the opponents, and the destroying is so much easier. But there's also a lack in the AI, because the AI will just randomly drive around. They will not outrun you or anything like that. They will not. Sometimes they will fight each other, sometimes they will fight you. And it's a really weird AI in this. You know, there's not really clear distinction on what they are trying to do. So you kind of need to seek them out. You see, he's just like driving, and this is not close to anything. So really weird. But yeah, so this game is quite interesting, but the driving is so bad that I just don't really feel that I can put a lot of time into it. Because I need a better cornering, and you know, the quality of driving are raised. The bar has been raised a lot for me to go through that. And you can buy cars after every completed. And there you can buy the one that you have destroyed. Let's see if I can find all the rooftop satellite. Maybe I should try to show this and that the driving is bad. Graphics, you know, are decent. Gameplay have nice variety, but these missions are quite interesting sometimes, and the regular races are quite easy, but then the missions are really a steep bump in difficulty, so you gotta be prepared for that. And this one got me really. Ooh, I made it through this without, I think I had like 3 seconds left on the clock. And yeah, really frustrating trying to fight with the camera. Everything. And even though there are power-ups, you don't really need them. But yeah, just trying to get the camera lining up. You can... I try to locate like time bonus. And as you can see, the time is clicking down here, clicking down, and this is not going really well. This one I would not have made it. Hard damage, so it can go slower and it can, you know, you can also be wasted by other cars and stuff like that. So, and the jumping is very easy to kind of overshoot. And this is going much better than the first time, because now I have more training with the bad kind of driving. It's not good. I am very doubtful that I will make it this time. And this took me like way over an hour the first time. Trying to learn this, and it's also every turn you can, you know, you come to a crawl. Now I have more. The speed you are at, and if you're going to like run over the edge or not. So now I have 3 left, and I have not even and this is, you know, quite early in the game. And this mission are just god awful difficult. The difficulty is insane. I don't understand how the hell this mission is put to the game as such an early stage. It should be even more of the final one. Oh, come on, come on, come on. And fail. Yeah. So, you know. The driving is not a good thing, and that is the major thing that has not aged well at all and is going to make you frustrated as hell. And this is the quick look, and I'm not sure that I'm going to play this a lot of more. As I said, I've already come to the third group and I am at the mission, and these missions are the ones that really take you down a notch or two, because the difficulty are so much bad, or you know, worse, or high is correct, but you know, it seems bad. That, you know, the races are quite not a lot of a problem, and then comes the mission and you are just like hitting a wall of difficulty. And many times it's because the driving is so difficult. It's the driving combining with the time that really puts a stop to you. I think there should be difficulties, you know, that you should be able to choose the difficulty of the game, but I have not found it. So I'm guessing that there might be an easier mode, and that should have been a better starting point for me. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this quick look. Now, you know, get it if you don't think that driving will bother you. Then if you like this kind of arcade style games, you will have a lot of fun with it. But I need better driving. So yeah.